Alright, good afternoon YouTubers. Uncle Dave with DEECEE's Adventures. I want to just do a quick, this isn't going to be a complete review, but a quick review or overview of my 10x12 canvas tent made by the Tent Shop and tentshop.com. The guy who owns the tent shop, he's been selling tents for many years. I think his name's Don, but I'm not positive actually. He has a YouTube channel actually where he's talking about this particular canvas tent, and if you type in canvas tents, his video will come up probably first, or at least in the top 3. And this is his wilderness tent. The model is called the wilderness model, and it cost about $6.50 for this 10x12, but that didn't include any of the extras that I got here, because I got a lot of extras on this one. It comes with the Colorado storm flaps, which is just to keep the wind out from blowing into the zipper when it's really windy, and when you have like snowstorms like Alaska weather, you use those flaps on both the inside and outside, and it will just make it so snow and wind doesn't push through that zipper. So let's take a look at the number here. This particular tent, the guy who owns this store, after selling tents for probably 20+ years, this is the tent design that he came up with. He thinks this is the best canvas tent design, has everything. I think so too. The Colorado flaps are standard. He reinforces all of the corners, are double reinforced so you don't get rips. He also has a reinforced ridge line here, alright? And that's so when you set it up in a large pole style like I did my first year out here, you can set it up with a lodge pole and just a tree that you cut down, and you don't have to worry about it tearing up the tent so much. There's a double layered there, and then it's triple layered right here on the corner where it comes in. It has this stovepipe hole, which is cut for 5 inches, but it has lines on it so you can cut it out for a 6-inch pipe easily enough if you need to. And it's a silicone infused canvas that won't burn. So that's nice, and there's a flap on top of it so you can cover it when you're not using it so mosquitoes don't get in. And the tent itself, like I said, it was in the $600 to $650 range, and I think I got it on special, so it might even be a little bit more than that, but that was without any of the extras. And if each window was an extra $60, and the screen door that I have on the front here was an extra like $90 or $110 maybe, and you had to get all of them because the only models he had with windows and a screen door were the models with 3 windows. So I don't know, I spent like an extra $160 or something to have all the windows in it, which seems kind of pricey, but it was worth it to me because during the summer and everything it gets really hot out here, and it was nice to have good breeze coming through. I don't know if I mentioned he has all these made in Pakistan. He did design them and make all the dimensions, but he's having them sewed up and put together in Pakistan, and they actually are great quality. And I imagine Pakistanis actually spend a lot of time in canvas tents out in the desert there, so, and out in the mountains that they have over there. So there it is, from inside and out. It's a really thick canvas. It's a I think it's a number 10 or 10 duct army canvas, which I don't really know what any of that means, but it's really thick and I'm not worried about ripping it at all. It's actually worked out really good, and like I said, this is I've almost spent I spent over six months in this thing, and I haven't spent any winter months in this yet, but I've spent all the other seasons in the state of Maine, and it's never leaked ever once. It didn't come with that tarp either. When you buy just the tent, if you don't spend the extra money, you're not going to get a fly for it, which I got a fly right there, and it's made out of some poly material that's a lot like a regular tarp you would hang up somewhere, but it's like 4 or 5 times the thickness of a regular tarp. and I have never had that leak, and I just got through 5 days of downpour rain with thunder and lightning and everything, and we didn't have a single leak in there. That's why I took it off, so I can let this whole tent dry up. It's important when you have a canvas tent that you get a full day of dry weather before you pack it up, or you'll get mildew and mold when you put it away. It's also really important that you find a hard-sided plastic case to put the tent in as well, and store it in a place where mice and rats and chickmunks can't get to it in the colder months, because they'll burrow holes all through your tent, and then you'll go to take it out the next year and it'll look like Swiss cheese. So you don't want that at all. And when I bought this tent, I bought it with an angle set, which what that means, go back in here, is these. Those are the angles. So he'll ship the angles with the tent. So I got a fly, the angles, and a tent is what I got shipped to me, and it cost about $950 for this whole setup. And then afterwards you go to Home Depot and you pick up these conduit. It's just 1-inch conduit, galvanized steel conduit, and you cut it down to the sizes that you need it to fit in here. And if you give him the measurements of your tent, he'll calculate what all of your walls and sides and what the rafters are going to be, because they'll all be a little bit different on each tent, because you know it's a huge tent. When they sew it up together, sometimes it's a couple inches off on each corner, so you have to build the frame for the inside of the tent to fit it perfectly. But I spent a whole year without a frame in here. I used just some trees that I cut down, and it's called the lodge pole setup. So if you guys want more information about that, you can watch some of my earlier videos, or you can just look up a video on YouTube here that talks about how to set up a canvas tent with lodge pole setup. All in all, this is a great tent, and I've been in some of those Montana tents before, and I've been in a couple other canvas tents, and this is by far the highest quality tent that I've ever been in as far as thickness, and how the layout is and the pattern that they've sewed it in is just absolutely amazing. And let me tell you, with these Teton XL cots, it's like you're at home. I'm perfectly comfortable. I've slept out here for months and months at a time and not had a problem. So yeah, I gotta get packing this thing up. It should be dry enough pretty quick here to pack up. So go to thetentshop.com, look at what he has. He carries all the other canvas tents too, but make sure you're looking at his wilderness models, because his wilderness models are the ones that I think are the best canvas tent that's on the market right now. And make sure you buy the fly with it, because otherwise canvas, I mean, it's treated with waterproof and it doesn't leak, but it will eventually leak. The waterproof will go away on it unless you keep the fly on it. If you have the fly on this tent, you'll never have this thing leak ever. And you should be able to get through some pretty snowy conditions in this thing too, especially with that fly on. A good stove, you can keep this thing heated. I've been in 20-degree weather with this for a couple weeks with just a small little military stove, and had no problem. It heats it up plenty good enough for you to stay warm in there. And all in all, it's a great tent. So go over to their site, check it out if you're interested in canvas tents. Uncle Dave with DEECEE's Adventures. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all on the next video.